Hi, I'm Tom. So today I want to talk about some amazing day I had yesterday. We went to a fire festival here in Japan, and it started off really sketchy. I was contacted on Instagram, and maybe most of you know, if you're contacted on Instagram, it's mostly spam and you just press the ignore button to make sure they don't message you again. But this seems legit, and luckily it was legit. I was contacted by an art organization originated from Tokyo to promote, they are there to promote local culture, and Kunisaki is, I think, next on the list because everything is promoting Kunisaki at the moment, and they have a right to it. We went to this town, and it was this town, the only special thing about this town was that there was a joyful, and it had the town was called Usa. So it had the USA Hollywood signs on it in the town, and it had some stone shrine statues, I guess, which I'll show you here. USA itself isn't really interesting, at least not the core of the town. But then we were taken on a bus trip. First of all to the farmlands, and it was really beautiful. We walked a few stairs and we had one amazing view. I think it was nominated to be one of the most beautiful pictures in a Japanese landscape photography contest, and it deserved its first prize. The next stop was the oldest stone Buddha in Japan. It is carved out from a wall, and it's about 4 meters high. It was really cool to see, and you had these amazing stairs that you had to go up that not everyone in the group was really happy about, but it was easy to do. The funny thing is that the oldest Buddha is actually not the most famous one of the two. There are two Buddhas there, one is 6 meters high and one is 4 meters high, and the bigger one is more famous because it has a funny facial expression. So I guess that that being the oldest isn't always good, being funny is good. But coming down the stairs again, we went to the oldest wooden structure in Japan, and this was a temple, and it was a beautiful temple. It was amazing. The inside, unfortunately, we could not film because it's a sacred place, and they ask you to not film inside. But I can tell you that there was a beautiful Buddha statue inside that used to be gold, but it looked almost wooden now, and the inside was used to be so colorful, but unfortunately everything faded away when they opened it to the sun for a long time. One of the funny things of this structure was that originally the temple was next to this structure. But the temple broke down, and the place where everything is now, kids used to play there. So it was actually first a playground, the most amazing playground you've ever seen. And then when the temple broke down, they moved the statues there, and now they used it as a place of prayer. This was a long time ago already, so it's not like it's like 10 years ago. It's like hundreds of years ago. Next to the temple, you had the judges. In Buddhism, they have more than one hell, and it's determined by 10 judges in which hell you come, and there's one head judge. And apparently it's not very usual to see all the judges at one place, so this was also a unique thing about this spot. But then we came to the fire festival, and this was the most amazing part. First of all, we arrived at the place. There's this beautiful, also wooden temple, and on the opposite side there was a grass field with all fires on it, people sitting around eating and drinking. It was amazing. I think that's the most lovely thing of this day. We drank some sake, and then we got some food from 2 old women. They made it themselves. and they set us down in their house where they make the food, looking out over the grass field, and it was so lovely. They really reminded me of my grandma, giving us food, making sure we were warm and stuff, because it was really cold by then. It was really lovely. Then we got to go in the temple. We first got some unique traditional music. It was actually really good. I liked it a lot. It wasn't the boring random tones that I think sometimes traditional music can be. It was actually good music, and apparently they played it only on this occasion for the fire festival, so that was really nice. After the music, they filled everything up with quizzes by a professor on the history of the Edo period, I think, or at least a history professor. They did quizzes. Of course, everything was in Japanese, so didn't score really well on the questions. We had a translator in our ear, which was really nice. Lovely translator. That's what made this tour possible, and that's why they asked us to test this. If it works. After the filler up, we had some traditional Japanese comedy show, and it was amazing. There were these comedy actors. They moved in really funny positions. They talked really slow. I could almost understand them with my basic Japanese, and it was really funny. It was a really silly story about a man and his servant, and the servant didn't want to get the water for his master, so he made up that there was an oni, like a demon there. But of course the master was like, no, but you lost my precious bucket, so I'm going to get it. And then the servant played as the oni, and then later on the master found out that the servant was the oni because he sounded really like the Oni. He unmasked the Oni, basically. It was really funny. They did it really well. I didn't think I would like it this much, but it was good.
世にったこのほぼへおのぼのを申し送る。茶の水はどれがよかろう。さればどれがようござりましょうぞ。どれがよかろうな。このように使われては身も骨も続くことではない。よし、今一度は参ろうが、このようなことは重ねての礼儀になりたがる。何とぞして参りともないものじゃが。いや、いたしようがござる。太郎かじゃは、すっと心の優しいもので。
And then we got to the main thing of the evening. the actual fire festival. So they started I mean, if you would want to do this in the Netherlands, no, if you did this in the Netherlands and also in the Czech Republic, one of my friends said, and in Germany, you would get shot down. They made a fire. This temple was wooden, but they made a fire in the temple because, of course, that's possible. It's Japan. It's tradition. At a certain point, first there were some dances with the monks. One of my friends, Kevin, actually got to participate, which was really fun. And after that, the Onis came in. We have a red and a black Oni, these demons. I think in European culture, no, in Western culture, demons are mostly associated with bad things, but these are the good Onis to scare away the bad things. So one person dressed in red, one person dressed in black, and they both had these beautiful masks, and they first pose with their torches for the pictures, of course, because they are trying to promote it. So, and afterwards they did some dancing. They did a ritual, and then everybody, instead of you had the square in the middle, all the public went into the square, or was chased into the square basically, and then they did a dance and chanted a certain blessing while hitting their torches against the top of the thing, making sure that the part of the torch spark off onto the people, which was dangerous and very fun to be in. This is where we will die.
中は座ってあげてください。後ろの人が見えるから中座ってあげてください。よいしょ。はい、ここで掛け声始まるね。
In the middle of the square, there was some rice cake catching. You had these big rice cakes, two of them, and they threw them in the middle of the square. And if you have the rice cake, you will get slapped by the Oni with the torch. But if you have the rice cake, you need to break it and share it with someone else. So it's all these people. It's a chaos. It was amazing to see. Really unique. I don't know.
いいですか。
And then afterwards the blessing started. So you all get in the middle of this square. You take off any head thing you have because tradition. And they chant, they do a dance again, and then the Onis they slap you on the back with their torch while burning, and then you're blessed. You will not get sick for the next year. You will have safe travels, all that kind of stuff. It was amazing to be in this unique experience.
帽子も全部取ってください。それもダメです。ダメです。それは日本の文化でダメです。手拭いも取ってください。頭にかぶってるものは取ってください。頭にかぶってるものは取ってください。ロケットこれ取ってもらって取ってもらって。まずこのくらい行きましょう。おかじですんでね、強くは叩きません。皆さんが奉行息災とか交通安全とかね、お寺でご祈願するのを背中とかを叩いて、仏さんのご加護を与えるものでございますんで、はい、いきますよ。赤般若花見た神行漢字大菩薩行人般若花見た自称剣語海空道一切空薬者利子式風意空空風意式式食米空空即税集中創業式薬者利子小空道風小風風上風道風減税航空中無式無重創業式無限人心理無式小公微速法無限機械無無病薬無無病薬
叩いていいよ、叩いていいよ。
任務所特攻膨大殺体般若花見た更新無経験無経験公務音理回転道無足空領名阪三税小仏へ般若花見た高徳花見た高知般若花見た自大寺修寺大名修寺無常修寺無東道一切空心無東高節般若花見た
Afterwards they threw these little round small rice cakes into the public just for people to take home and eat.
This piece of cake.
So this was my unique experience of the Nobody Knows tour. That's what it's called. Thank them for this opportunity. If you're around, please try them out. This is the end of the video. Please comment down below what you think of it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!